All right, let's see if I remember how to do this, man. Yo. What's going on, man? Today is June the 22nd, 2023. It's your boy Chris, and this is the ChrisBeCappinn WNBA show. First one of the season. Hopefully, it's a few more to come. WNBA don't have as many teams, of course, as the NBA. And make sure my mic connected. Because of that, you don't have a lot of. It's not always a lot of games on at the same time. So on certain days you'll have three games. On certain days you'll have one game. Certain days are travel days, and you'll have no games at all. So I'll try to do a few more, a few shows a week if if the schedule kind of allows for it. But now that the NBA season is over, I am first year capping WNBA, but liking what I'm seeing, man. I love the product. Love how hard the girls play. They play way harder than the men do, and it's entertaining to say the least. So I've kind of stayed away from baseball, not really giving out baseball plays, not playing a lot of baseball, but I've been locked into the WNBA. So let's get into it, man. Let's get into it. That's what people are here for. They're here for the picks. um, I don't cap a lot of, or I haven't anyway capped a lot of player props, but I do want to kind of talk about one that I really really love today. Haven't played it yet, but one that I really love, and we'll talk about that and get into the slate for today. So first thing I want to start with is hitting the like button for me if you guys are watching on YouTube. I don't even have like a background for the show yet. I created a thumbnail for the show, but I hadn't had a chance to create a banner. So y'all hang with me there. I'll get there on that. And also want you guys to know I'm no expert in the WNBA. Definitely not an expert at all. But I have been watching the game. I do know how to cap basketball in general. I know what I'm looking for, and I think I'm on the right side of a couple plays today. So no further ado, cap with caution. Tail with caution. But I like the size, and I capped the games last night. A lot of the lines that I gave out last night or early this morning around 2 o'clock a.m. Eastern time have moved in my direction. So hopefully we can get some positive CLV if you guys are tailing, if people tail those plays last night. So hit the like button for me and let's jump into it. First, we have shout out to my guy Peter in the YouTube comment section as well. First game up, we have is, and let me just make sure I'm going in order. Because I kind of feel like I'm not now. Yeah, no, I am going in order. We got Connecticut, the Connecticut Sun in Minnesota taking on the Lynx today. Um, excuse me. This line open at the Sun laying 5.5 as road favorites. The line has since come down to 3.5. Some 4.5s out there as well if you're looking at DraftKings and Caesars. And the total opened at 159 is down to 157.5 is the consensus. 157 is on the board, 158 as well. And I actually got a play on both the side and the total in this game. It's a game that I really, really like. So first thing I want to jump into is, because I got some notes to kind of help me with this one. Looking at the Sun, I don't like the spot for them. The Sun are really, really good if people don't know. Sun are 10-3. I want to say they have the third best record behind only the Aces and the Liberty, the New York Liberty, who are really, really good. So the Sun are also really good. Watching the Sun kind of remind me a lot of parts of their game remind me a lot of like the Grizzlies. They like to get out and run in transition. They don't have the best half court offense, but they play really good defense. So a healthy Grizzlies team, they play really good defense. They got a lot of trees, a lot of ladies that kind of tower down low and can score in the paint. They real physical. They like to beat you up and be aggressive with you on the defensive end. And then they like to get out. They get a lot of buckets in transition. So in this game specifically, though, I do like and I played the Lynx. I played them last night at 5.5. I think is what I gave the number out as. So this is one of the ones that's kind of moved in my favor is Minnesota plus the 5.5. One thing that's been extremely profitable in the WNBA throughout this season is betting on home dogs. If they're catching points, these games are a lot more competitive than the NBA. These games are a lot more competitive this year than they have been. I read a stat a couple weeks ago that said that it was something like some kind of comparison stat. I forgot what metrics were used, but they were saying that the WNBA games have been a lot more competitive this season. Even when teams go on 2 or 3 games losing streaks, they typically bounce back, and that's when you want to bet on them, is when they're in that super desperation spot. So that's kind of the way that Minnesota kind of started the season out. They were not a really good team, but over the last 6 games, the Sun and the Lynx are both 4-2 during the 6-game stretch. The Sun, they've averaged a league best 24.5 points off turnovers. And that's what I was kind of talking about, is the ability to be able to get out and run in transition. But the Lynx on the other end, they've done a really good job of taking care of the basketball. They're only allowing 12.5 points off turnovers in those 6 games, which is actually the best in the W. You look at the Sun, they also lead the W in fast break points, 17 per game over the last 6 games. The Lynx allowed the second fewest at just 9.2 points per game. Last but not least, the Sun averaged a league best 44.7 points in the paint. The Lynx have also allowed the second fewest points in the paint to their opponent as well, just 32 points per game. All of these stats are available on WNBA.com. And to me, all of those numbers that I just kind of gave you guys kind of favor the Lynx being able to kind of counteract what the Sun do well. You look at this game from a situational standpoint. The Sun are in their last game of a 3-game road trip. They have not. They've done really, really well. They went to LA and beat the Sparks the other day. They also got a win in Seattle the other day. But they're going to be a little shorthanded today. Brianna Jones had a non-contact injury. She fell I want to say it was the start of the fourth quarter, middle of the fourth quarter. She fell, kind of tripped over her own feet and hurt herself just a tad bit. So she won't be in for this game. She probably won't be playing for the foreseeable future. So it's not a really good travel spot. I looked at some SDQL stuff, and like I said, 3rd and final game of a road trip before turning home. Teams that have won the first 2 games in this situation are 28, 40, and 2 against the spread. That's 60% fade of the Sun tonight. They're also 47-23 to the under, 67.1%. And this data goes back before, a little bit before 2012. So some long-term trends. So I like the Sun. I like the Lynx. I'm sorry. I like the Lynx plus the 5.5. Like I said, a little bit more about the Lynx. Like I said, they started the season just 0-6 straight up. They were only 2-4 against the spread, but they're 4-2 straight up and against the spread in their last 6. And in those 6 games, they ranked 5th defensively. They're 2nd in rebounding, 1st in defensive rebounding, 10th in effective field goal percentage. So they're not scoring the ball well. They beat the Sparks 3 out of their last 4 games and swept the Sparks on the season for the season series. But they have struggled to score. They struggle with pace, and like I mentioned, the 10th in effective field goal percentage, just 7th in pace. And it's only 12 teams in the WNBA, so this team is not they're finding ways to win, but it's not always pretty. They're squeaking out wins. They've been dogs a lot recently, and they've been coming to play. Nafisha Collar is somebody that is always bet on. This girl plays really, really hard all the time, and she's a bucket too. So also, another quick trend I want to talk about in this game before I transition to the next one is short home dogs. When I say short home dogs, I mean 3.5 points or less. This season, those teams are 4-5 straight up. Also 4-5 against the spread. If you're going back in the database, those same short home dogs, 3.5 points or less, coming off a win facing an opponent that's also coming off a road win, 16-9 straight up in the last 25, 18-5-2 against the spread, 78.3%. So all of this to me says to take the Lynx plus the points tonight as a short home dog, and the line is agreeing with me on that move. So that's what I played in the first game. I played the under 159.5, 159. And like I said, that total is moved with me. Hopefully the CLV is good, positive CLV that works out well. But I see this game being pretty slow paced. Connecticut hangs their head on the defensive end. They play really good defense. And I think it'd be a little bit more difficult for them to score without Bree Jones tonight. And I also think that Minnesota's going to struggle to score and also be able to limit Connecticut a little bit, who might be overlooking them in that last game before they go back home. So I got Dream connected with me. Dream, you got any thoughts on this first game between the Sun? First of all, how you doing, my guy? I know it's been a minute since we talked. So answer that for me. Let me know how you doing. I know you've been out here cashing these plays in the W as well. So let people know how you've been doing. And then also talk to me a little bit, Dream, about your thoughts about this first game. Also, I want to get Stephen thoughts as well. I want to keep it like instead of me doing it like I typically do it, I want to do maybe a more discussion base versus me just giving out all these different numbers and talking about why I like the size, more like a roundtable type discussion. So let's kick it to Dream first, and then we're gonna go to my guy Stephen, who also been cashing in the W as well. Dream, how you doing, my guy? And what you liking in this first game?
I can't complain, my guy. How you?
I'm good, bro. I've been fighting a little illness, but other than that, it's all good. Everything going straight, man. Enjoying the time off, away from the NBA. Been disconnected from Twitter, other than looking at beat writers and just the typical research stuff. But everything good, man. How about how things going in your world?
Can't complain, man. Can't complain. Always good vibes. I hope you feel better, man.
Appreciate that, bro.
It's funny because I was trying to heart your statement about Nafisha Collier, and I don't know what I did. I guess I left the spaces. Then when I came back, I think you had pulled me up. But yeah, man. As far as that game, I don't have a strong feeling about that game. I just completely agree with everything you're saying. Brianna Jones being out is obviously going to be a big deal. Makes me wonder where the points are coming from. Makes me wonder, are they going to try and push the pace? Are they going to try and, continue to slow it down? Melissa Thomas is probably a good prop look, like her fantasy points or her points, rebounds, and assists, because you would think she has to score a little more, maybe facilitate even more than she already does. So,
coming off a triple-double game too. She was hooping that last game. She had the triple-double early too. It was it was a massive triple-double too. So
yeah, I was looking up. She had 8-9 rebounds in second quarter. I'm like, wow, she's amazing. But I couldn't talk you off anything. I'm pretty sure the homie Steph got a lot more to say about this game, but I got stronger opinions about the next two for sure.
Okay, but that works, man. We never forcing anything. Stephen, what's going on, my guy? How you doing today?
Doing excellent, bro. Nice to see everybody here again. It's been a while since we got together, bro.
For sure.
Hope we feel better. But for this game, thing that kind of what Dream said, the biggest thing that kind of stood out to me was where the points coming from. Because the Sun, I had them as my dark horse to win the title before Brianna went down. She was such a big player.
I saw that. You got him at plus 1,000, right?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I think the Aces is gonna win the title clearly, but I'm yo, if anyone's gonna beat them, I think the Sun. And at 1,200, hell yeah, give me that. But no, with Brianna going down, I think that one, they're gonna probably play faster. It's one of those this is a hypothetical guess because I haven't seen it, but they're probably gonna play faster because she's a low post threat. And I love DeWanna Bonner in this spot. I took her on. It was at 18.5 earlier, but I know it jumped up. If you look at the links, they're a team that they do they're missing their power forward Jess Shepard, and she's kind of because I like to think of it NBA, so she's kind of does the Draymond Green thing where they put her at the elbow and they run the offense to her. But now Collier goes from small forward to power forward, which is really a small forward, and they play kind of this 2-3 zone. They collapse the paint, and they really have no size. They have no perimeter defense really, so that's why I really like Bonner. Bonner reminds me of Brandon Ingram, where she could pull up from the midi, she could hit a three, she could get slashed in the cup. So I kind of when I see the links in this new kind of alignment, I kind of like to take players who are kind of that three position who could take advantage of that. And then with Collier, the thing that I love her rebounds today, it jumped up. It was a 7.5, 115, and I was at 146. I think she could get 10 rebounds. I haven't took it, but there's a 25 and 10 on DraftKings. Because she could definitely get to 25. She's a walking bucket. And the 10 rebounds, I really like a lot. Because if you just go back and track the games where Jess Shepard was out and she moved to power forward, she had 7 against the Aces, but didn't play any of the fourth really because it was a blowout. Had 14 last game versus LA. Had 9 versus LA. had 14 against the Fever, and then the Lynx. If you see the Lynx, like, you know, bigs go crazy. I mean, not the Lynx, the Sun. Bigs go crazy grabbing rebounds against them, and now that Briona's not there, it's like, who the hell's the enforcer? So those are my thoughts on that game. I have like other stuff, but like those are like the main two I kind of like looked at for this game.
That makes a lot of sense to me, Stephen. As soon as you said like who's going to pick up the scoring, that was definitely the name that kind of came to my thought process as well. DeWanna Bonner. The thing that you didn't mention, like she's already averaging 18, like you said, 17.9 on the season. She's a fierce competitor, bro. Like I watched her hit like a dagger shot, and she was like yelling at the referees the other day, and it was crazy, bro. So yeah, I don't think that I think Connecticut continues to want to win. I think they might just be a will type game, but I do look for them to struggle to score just a tad bit. Hopefully the pace isn't going too much faster without Bree being there, because I do think this game, I needed to stay under the total, and both of these teams have been playing pretty slow basketball. I think I want to say 3 of the last 4 Lynx games have been against the Sparks, and the Sparks play really, really slow. I think the Lynx also been playing slow. That game went under on what day did they play on? Sunday, I want to say. That game went under by margin. And I just think the Lynx, I think bottom 5 in pace. You look at the Sun defense, they have also been top 5 in defense, even on the road as well. So I like our thought process on that game. And it will be a kind of fill out game, being that this will be the first game that the Sun will play without Bree, and it'll be their last game of a 3-game road trip before they head back home. And I forgot who they got up next, but I think they might play the Mercury next. So it won't be a big game at all next, is what I'm thinking. Anything else you want to add on that Steph?
Yeah, Dream mentioned Thomas was a hell of a player. Like she's basically just like Draymond Green. Like she's insane how she could just distribute the rock.
Mm-hmm.
Like I kind of wonder, like when Brionna was like a center, she'd be like the post up player. They throw the ball and whatever. Now I'm like, so is Alyssa still on the elbow? Does she play at? Are they gonna post her up more? Like I kind of just want to see her on the game first because I didn't take her. But I mean, the Lynx gave up a ton of assists to anybody who's distributing. So 10 is a lot. Like if it was 8.5, I'd probably be there. But
Same.
10 is like that's a lot of assists.
Yeah, no, I agree. I wanted it. That was my favorite prop of the day, Stephen. But she's averaging 8. She crushes the number. Like I remember when it was like 6.5 and I wasn't playing it. I've never played it, but I just continue to watch Connecticut play, and she is really, really good at distributing the basketball, bro. Like you said, she's like Draymond. She's literally she left-handed, right? I want to say she like a left-handed Draymond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's got like that funky like Draymond like it's hard to guard her because like is she driving and she dishing? Yeah,
yeah.
Like, it's like she's like man funky.
Yeah, and with a push shot.
She better than Draymond.
Oh, you wild, bro.
That's why I was saying I think that a good pivot. Prize Picks got her fantasy points. I think that's a good pivot because you get more credit for rebounds and assists. Instead of 1, you get like 1.25 or whatever they give you. And then the steals and blocks, like Draymond, she can get those as well too. So, I think it's a good pivot. I don't know if she's gonna score more, pass more. But what I wanted to see both of y'all opinions on, how y'all feel about her chances of having more turnovers if she's gonna have increased usage. I see her turnovers at Prize Picks at 2.5. What do y'all think about that?
That one's tough because the Lynx defense is just so suspect. Like, I don't know. Like, I can easily see her, like, obviously she's going to have the ball more and more usage. Like, unfortunately, WNBA, they don't have, like, those advanced stats like NBA with usage. But, I mean, she's going to have the ball in her hand more. I haven't, like, looked at, like, what her turnover log is. But I could definitely see her, like, go over since, like, she'll have it so much. And, like, the Lynx are, like, they play, like, this weird defense where, like, that's why I actually, like, I kind of have these things I look for. Like, so against the Lynx now, like, if there's a big that, like, is a post-up, I kind of like to fade that person because they just, like, throw 3 people and they're like, yeah, you're not going to score. And
that's a fact.
Get turnovers. So I think that's a pretty good look, actually.
Yeah, it makes sense. And one thing I just checked real quick, Dream, is she is averaging 3 turnovers on the season. So you would think with increased usage, that might be a good play if you can get it. Also, yeah, y'all make sure y'all follow Dream if y'all not doing so already, because he got all the Prize Pick looks, and I don't even got Prize Pick downloaded on my phone. So definitely make sure y'all following Dream and Stephen for the Prize Pick looks, the long shots, and all those good things. Let's transition over to the Mystic and Sky game. I'm pretty sure, yeah, this will be the second game that'll come on before we get to the Fever and the Storm. So the Mystics are a lot better than the Wizards. I'll tell you guys that. They both play in DC. The important things about this game specifically, and then I'll jump into the side, is that Natasha Cloud, she was listed as questionable yesterday. She's the starting point guard for the Washington Mystics. She was listed as questionable. She didn't practice on Wednesday because of an illness, but she did go through shoot around today, and she is projected to play today as well. So they'll need her. The Mystics are one of those teams, almost like the Golden State Warriors of the NBA. I'm trying to give you guys, comparisons if you're not familiar. The Mystics are they're one of those teams that's really, really good at home, but they struggle on the road. They have really, really struggled on the road. They're also a really good first half team, but they don't play as well in the second half either. So they're coming off. And I'll just say this out front: they are better than the Chicago Sky. They are, in my opinion, they are a lot better than the Chicago Sky. They hang their head on the defensive end. They play really, really, really good defense. They're the best defensive team in the WNBA, and now they're traveling to Chicago to take on the Sky, a team that they just beat a few days ago. So in DC at that. So 2-game home stand for them. They ended up winning both of them, and now they'll go on the road and start a little trip out Midwest. So coming off 2 straight home wins, like I said, one of those wins were against Phoenix. That game was actually last Friday, but Phoenix was without Brittany Griner and Diana Taurasi, and the other was an 8-point win against the same Chicago Sky on Sunday that they're playing tonight. You look at the Mystics; they are just 1-4 against the spread, 5-0 to the under as road favorites. They've been held under their team total in each of those 5 games so far this season, with an average of about 71 points per game. The one thing, like I said, that's most noticeable is in the second half of those games. They're averaging just 29 points per game, and they're allowing 41 points per game. So that's a -12 in the second half point differential. And in 5 road games so far for the Mystics, they rank 10th in pace. They also are last in effective field goal percentage, so they're not making a lot of shots. They're last in offensive rating and first in defensive rating. So to me, all of those numbers just scream under, and I did play the under 155. 155 and a half is what I played it at. The number now is down to 145, I want to say. And the Mystics also have in my estimation, they have a look-ahead spot to the Liberty. They do play the Liberty on Sunday in New York, a team that they beat to open the season. But a team that will definitely have revenge on their mind. I think Sabrina will also be back for that game after missing the last 2 for the Liberty. But not to get too far ahead of ourselves, those are some of the reasons why I kind of like the Sky. The Sky also one of those teams that have just been losing. They're actually one of the teams that I've watched the least amount of, but I did get a chance to watch a couple of their games. So I just think it's a super desperation spot for this team. They're coming off 4 straight losses. The last one being on Sunday, like I said, in DC to the same Mystics team that they'll play again tonight. They also already lost to the Mystics earlier this season when they were in Chicago. They lost that game by 2 points. It was 69-71. And they're also only home for this one game. They get the pleasures of traveling to Connecticut to play the Sun on Sunday, I want to say, a game they have a really, really small chance of winning. So I think they kind of leave it all on the floor tonight. Not the greatest travel spot for them, but also not the greatest travel spot for the Mystics. And a couple other things I wanted to kind of point out. The reason why the Sky are so bad, or why they've been so bad, is because during the 4-game losing streak that they've been on, they've ranked 8th in offensive rating, so pretty much bottom 4. 9th in defensive rating. They haven't really been able to stop anybody, and second to last in net rating, -12.7, only being in front of the Mercury, which, like I said, over the last few games have been without BG and Diana Taurasi. So All of those reasons kind of, give me a little hesitancy to take the Sky today, but I do think it's a Sky spot. I did play Sky plus 3.5. I think that if they lose the game, it'll be close. I think that they have to limit their turnovers. They do lead the league in turnovers. But I watched this team come back from a pretty big deficit. And the Mystics are one of those teams, in my estimation, that when they're playing well, it's because their defense is kind of fueling their offense. So I do expect their defense to play well, but I do expect the Sky to also kind of not have so many self-inflicted wounds. I don't expect them to turn the ball over as much as they have been recently, and trying to kind of get it together a little bit. As far as seasonal trends, one that I looked at was home dogs off a loss facing an opponent that's off a win. So two teams kind of going in opposite directions, typically kind of average themselves out. Those teams are 9-3 against the spread, 75%. Says to back the Mystics today, and that's home dogs off a loss facing an opponent that's off a win, which the Mystics, of course, did win the game on Sunday night. So this season, you look at teams on a 3-game losing streak. Those teams are 6-5 in the next game. They're also 8-3 in that next game as well. And then dating back to last year, those teams are 43, 26, and 4. That's 62% says to back the team off a 3-game losing streak. Those teams are 7-4 to the under as well. So it makes sense because to me, it's a super desperation spot. EDD has been absolutely amazing. She is, I don't know who to compare it to. She like Klay Thompson that can dribble a little bit better in my estimation. She's amazing, but I do think that they struggle all around. Hopefully Brittany Sykes doesn't cause too much disruption on the defensive end because she is an absolute lockdown defender as well for the Mystics. But I do need the Sky to cover this small number, win the game perfectly, and hold the Mystics under their team total, which the Mystics haven't been able to go over their team total in any of their road games so far. So I did take the Sky plus the 3.5. I also played the total under 155.5. Let's go Stephen first and then come back to James. Stephen, you got any thoughts on this game today?
Yeah, under, always with the Mystics.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I want to say that they're 10-1 to the under. Like there was a game where the under didn't hit with remember with the coach and the rep.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, bro, that was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But but the opening line was actually 2 points higher. So it's just been kind of like the any game with the Mystics, I'm just grabbing that under every time.
Mm-hmm.
The smash spot to me is Marina Mabry. She had a down game last game. In general, I just kind of like in the WNBA. If a player has a bad game and I know she's going to shoot the next game, I just take her the next game because the line will drop 2-3 points. And she's someone where the line over at 16.5. I'm not sure if it's still at there, but if it's at 17.5, I still would take it. Like she's at home this year over the number 4 or 5, and not just like over it. It's 23 points, 28 points, and last time out 36. The way to beat the Mystics is to shoot threes from the elbow. She does that. She's going to take like 7-8 attempts. And not to bore everybody with numbers, but if you just look at all the people who shoot threes against the Mystics, it's like pretty much, it's like obviously you got to make the shots, but they get up their attempts a healthy amount, and those are the people who tend to go over. So I love Mabry in this spot today. I do like Elena Deladon, but I won't lie, like I'm not taking her because her minutes are down for some reason, and she'll just refuse to shoot for some reason. Like she's like, it's an amazing matchup for her. Like she should have 25 points, but like I can't take it because she just has these games where she just refuses to shoot the ball. So those are the two main ones I was looking at. I was also looking at Shakira Alston's rebounds. Like she was a monster on the glass before the injury. And in the last game, it looked like she couldn't jump as high. But once again, like last 3 games have been down, but eventually she's going to be back to being who she is because she's a monster on the glass. And Sky interior is terrible. So if I could give anything, I would say Mabry and the under. Those are the two I'm off this game.
Mabry and the under. What did you get her? What'd you get her line at, Stephen?
I got it at 16.5. Man, see, I'm trying to be disciplined because y'all be teaching me to be disciplined, but everything inside me is like saying, "Yo, ladder her to 25."
To 20.
Like she could make 2 threes, and then she's like one of those like momentum shooters, like J.R. Smith. Like she make 2, like all right, cool. I'm taking like 6 more.
Got it. Okay. Marina Mabry, man. If y'all looking for a prop in this game, Stephen say he likes her a lot. The 16.5 is still available, even though the number has moved on most books. 16.5 is still available on DraftKings right now. You will pay the juice at minus 135. It's also available at what is this, Golden Nugget, if you guys have access to Golden Nugget. And then 17.5. The way Stephen sounded like he liked the 17.5 as well. 17.5 is less juice, 114.
I won't even hold you. I like the 25. I'm just not taking it though.
Yeah. So maybe if you want some plus money, you put Marina Mabry put her in at 20 if you can get her at 20. So 17.5 is minus 114 on most books. Any Copper love today, Stephen? What are you thinking about her? Kalia Copper?
I just need to see a little bit more because she didn't play a couple games and she came back. Like the one thing about the Mystics is that like they have like Shakira Austin, who like if you like she guards the interior very well.
Mm-hmm.
Like Copper could have a good game. She's like a very talented player. It feels like you got to pick one between Mabry and Copper because like one of them was going to over their line. So I landed on Mabry, but I couldn't talk anyone off if they took Copper though. Got you.
Okay, I know I feel like she was at 17.5 in that game in DC the other day, and now she's down to 16.5. So just wanted to know your thoughts. I'm not playing any props
really
at all.
Really quick. Their head coach. This is the one thing I'd warn about this game. You remember how like last year in the NBA, Dwayne Casey would do these rotations, and you would take someone, and you're like, why did like Cade Cunningham sit for the whole quarter?
Mm-hmm.
They did this weird thing in the last game where all the starters played for like 1 minute, and he pulled them all for the whole first quarter. So it was just like, why did he pull his entire starting lineup for like an entire quarter to start the game? So I don't know if he's like, working with the books or whatever, but I will say that I did see that, and I was like, yo, what was that about?
Got you. Okay. And then I'm not sure who. Maybe Dream got an answer for us, but myself and Stephen both thinks this game goes under. When you're looking at a total to go under, it means somebody points probably not going to go over. So maybe it's an under for maybe you take that under on Elena Delavadon, but I'm not doing it. But maybe somebody else, maybe Dream will talk somebody into doing it. She is at 19.5 today. Dream, what's going on? How you like this game today? What you looking at?
Me play a under? Hell, no, I'm joking. First off, I'm with y'all on the game under. I love the under. Like you said, Washington most likely is the best defensive team in the league. They give up the least amount of points and the least amount of field goals. I think they got the best opponent field goal percentage as well. So the best team. I think you mentioned the total both games. I'm not sure if you did or not, but both games the total was around here 155 and 157, 158, and they scored 146 and 140. And Washington in general, like you said, they just fall off a cliff in the second half. So love the under. And I played Courtney Williams, who's the point guard for the Sky. I played her under rebounds. I got it at 6.5. 5.5 is fine. And I love it because I just feel like this is a number where, first off, she's a good rebounding guard. She's very small, but she is a good rebounding guard. But I think this is a number that they're just very slow to adjust. So she started the season getting like 9, 10. I think she had like a 12 rebound game somewhere in there. So I remember I was watching the game where she got 9 rebounds, and I'm like, yo, next game, I'm betting her under. And sure enough, it was 8.5. I bet the under, and I've been betting it ever since. She's going under this 6.5 number. Mind you, it started at 8.5. But she's going under the 6.5, 6 of the last 7. And she's going under the 5.5 for the last 5. So I think either one of those are good money. As far as the players, player comp, so I think Della Don to me is closer to KD. She's so smooth. All the everywhere on the floor. She get the 3. She like the mid range. She pull up, got the post up, and
that's true, Dream. I like that comparison better. You're right.
And McBride kind of almost like Clay to me, just a little more athletic. Maybe young Clay, because she got that. She shoot the 3, but she drive and then she'll push somebody with the off arm and go up with a floater. I'll be like, damn, okay. Because I'm like really just discovering the league. So when I'm watching the players, I'll be like, okay, all right, I see what's in your bag.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as somebody under, what I've seen with these games, you never know when one of these teams are just going to have an awful quarter shooting, whatever it is. And I think it's a better chance of happening, obviously, when you have a slow-paced game, obviously when you have a really good defensive team. But even if it's a blowout, you have a good chance of that happening. So if I had to play under on anybody, it would be Della Don under her points. But I would probably just try to pivot and maybe play a couple role players under, to be honest, because I could see a universe. Or see, it's tough, yeah, because Kalia Copper, she didn't play well last game when they played.
Mm-hmm.
And you said it was on that losing streak. She missed, I think, a couple of games during that streak.
She did,
like,
yep.
For personal reasons, too, yeah. And that's when Kayla, I think her name is Kayla, who we was just talking about, was going crazy. So I think it's, like you said, it's a good spot for them. I missed the number. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to shop around and see what's out there still. But, yeah, I agree with you with that spot. But the two plays I got for that game are definitely Courtney Williams under and the under itself. Now, it is a kind of a blunt money bet that I do like for that game, like a small one. Let me make sure I get her name right. Oh, yeah, you already mentioned her. So, Brittany Sykes.
Mm-hmm. She a dog.
So, yeah. Her to score 15 points is plus 275. And from what I'm looking at, so her normal total is, her just base total is 10.5.
Mm-hmm.
But just looking at her last 5 games, she's like boom or bust. She's going to get her same 8 to 10 shots a game. And she's going to get to the free throw line. She may hit a couple threes, but I'm looking at in her last 5 games, 16, 16, 9, 7, and 18. So I think her 15 is worth a parlay piece or maybe a small sprinkle if you want to do that. I put it in a parlay that I put on my page with DeWanna Bonner and Jewel Lloyd to slightly go over their props. So I like that too. And I'm trying to think, because it's a couple things while we've been talking, I've been basically getting the prize picks together with our looks. Nah, that's next game. All right. So, yeah, that's all I got for that one.
Okay. Make sure I'm trying. Okay. Yeah, Brittany Sykes is, I think a lot of those, not a lot of them, but a couple of those Brittany Sykes scores have been contributed on the defensive end because she get her hands in the cookie jar. Like she out there. Like she trying to turn you over. When she turn you over, she trying to get to the cup and score. So, yeah. Shout out to Brittany Sykes. She a hooper for real. She is definitely a hooper for real. Last game up, so Dream gave some looks, and Stephen did as well. Sounds like the consensus is we all are on the under in that game. I got it at 155. I also took, like I said, I took the Sky as short home dogs plus the 3.5 and gave it out last night or early this morning when I was capping these games. And only one more game up on the card. We got the Indiana Fever heading to Seattle to take on the Storm today, and this game's actually up to 3 now. The Storm are 3-point home dogs, so all 3 teams, we got 3 games, and we got three short home dogs. This one I would feel probably the least comfortable taking. I am on the other 2, but I'm not on the Storm in this spot. The Fever are pretty good at basketball, man. This team is really good offensively. Let's see what kind of comparison can I give you guys. Play good offense, but don't play a lot of defense. Pretty young team, even though they got Mitchell out there. Not 100% sure, but just think about this. I think when I'm kind of looking at the game, because the Storm on the opposite side are not a good team at all. They do have the Gold Mamba. Joe Lloyd is nothing short of spectacular, and she probably could play in the NBA. She could definitely teach some of these guys how to shoot the ball. She is an absolute bucket. I mean, and there's no reason why she makes the most money in the WNBA as well. But the Storm are not the greatest team overall. They really struggle after Joe Lloyd goes off. It's typically in the first half, and then you'll see teams start to kind of trap the pick and roll or double her just to get the ball out of their hands. Wizards are finalizing a deal to send Chris Paul to the Warriors. that include Jordan Poole. Oh my God, no. What is going on in the NBA? All right, that's a topic for another day. We're not going to talk about that right now.
See, that's why we working out what we working out,
bro. This is crazy. Jordan Poole gonna be up the creek. He gonna be up the street. Okay. All right. So back to this Fever Storm game. So the way I kind of see the game, man, and I'm pretty sure one of Stephen or Dream is going to talk about Aaliyah Boston, but I kind of want to mention Aaliyah Boston as well. But before I do, I want to talk about why I like Aaliyah Boston. So I think in this game, the Fever should actually own the points in the paint. They come into the game averaging 38 points in the paint per game. They come into the game averaging 38 points per game in the paint, which is the third most in the league. On the opposite side, you look at the Storm, they're actually allowing a league-leading 40.2 points per game in the paint. On the season, they rank third in offensive rating. I'm talking about the Fever specifically, behind only the Aces and the Liberty. But they're the second worst defensive team, man, behind only the Mercury. And the Mercury been really, really bad on defense, especially since they have lost Brittany Griner, but they were bad on defense before they lost her. Fever, also third best rebounding team. They play at a really slow pace, but they play really efficient basketball. So it's not really something that you can compare to a lot of teams, which is why I'm kind of struggling. On the road specifically, the Fever, second best offensive rating, 106.5, worst defensive rating, 110. And they're minus 3.8 net rating, which is 8th overall. The Fever are also 5-1 to the over in their road games, and they're going over by average of 13 points. They're also the second best rebounding team on the road, second best at taking care of the ball and limiting turnovers, but they're last in pace, like I said, on the road at just 93.2. But like I said, they're really efficient with the ball. You look at the Storm, on the other hand, they're 1-6 straight up at home, but 5-2 as home dogs this season. Their offense has not been the greatest, just 89.1. It's the last in the league. But like I said, they're playing against one of the worst defensive teams in the Fever, so you probably know where I'm going with this. They're also a 100.9 defensive rating, which is 8th. But over the last 4 games, has actually been the second best at home, behind only the Aces at a 90.7 defensive rating. Storm also second worst offensive rebounding team and second worst rebounding team in general. They turn the ball over the 4th most, and they rank dead last in effective field goal percentage, 5th in pace at 96. They want to get out, push the pace as much as possible, try to get as many easy buckets in transition before the defense can be set up. And then also a couple more things about the Storm. They're last in opponent effective field goal percentage, allowing teams to shoot 52.6% over the course of the season. But they lead the league in fast break points and actually scoring fast break points. So all of those different things point me towards the over in this game. I actually gave it out last night at one. I capped it at 162.5. Was going to take the over, and it moved to 163.5. And I played it. I took it at 163.5 as well. I'm not sure who wins this game. I do think that the Fever are a better team than the Storm collectively. I think Aaliyah Boston has a really, really big game today, both rebounding the ball and scoring the ball. She's averaging 12.4 points in the paint per game, which is actually first in the league. And that was a crazy stat to me because she is a rookie. She's just a hooper. And I thought it was pretty interesting that she averages more points in the paint than even Asia Wilson does for the Aces, because it seems like Asia scores all of her points in the paint as well. But Aaliyah Boston's averages more, 12.4, like I said, almost 12.5 points per game in the paint. And she's facing the team that allows the most points in the paint. So I like Aaliyah Boston a lot tonight. I didn't play her player prop, but I'm probably going to sprinkle on it. I also just played the over because, like I said, I think this game could kind of go either way. The more points that the Fever lay, the more I like the Storm. I will say that. But if I had it at a pick, I would take the Fever to win the game. It feels like a winnable game. And the Storm, based on watching them, it's really difficult for them to kind of put it together for 2 halves. They will have a really, really good half, though. Like, they're going to have a really good first half or really good second half. It's just really, really difficult for them to kind of maintain that. Both teams coming off a loss. The Storm just lost to Connecticut, to the Connecticut Sun just 2 days ago. And then the Fever lost to the Wings. Got smacked up by the Wings a couple nights ago and gave up over 100 points in that game. Defensively, I don't think that they get any better, but I do think that they score enough to outscore the Storm in this game. And that's the way I kind of see the game. Only thing I played was the over 163.5. I think the total has moved in my favor at 164.5 for some books. And if I'm playing any props, I like Aaliyah Boston, probably her points and her rebounds over. Let's go back to Dream first. I'm gonna put all my best bets at the bottom so you guys can see them if you're watching on YouTube. I'll also share them again one more time before we get out. Before I finish the show and kick it over to Dream and Stefan. Also, just so you guys know, all my plays when I put them in, you guys can have them. Excuse me, $5.99 a month. All you gotta do is click the link in the YouTube description or shoot me a DM. And yeah, it's $5.99, man. Get you all my plays as soon as I post them. The WNBA season, for people who don't know, they play 40 games, and we are at the quarter mark. So it's still 3/4 of the season left to be played, and I'm glued. I'm locked in. Hopefully, we can go 5-0 tonight, and you know, make a lot of money tonight and kind of keep it going. But let's kick it back to Dream real quick, and then Stefan and anybody else who got looks that they want to share, definitely send me a request. If you guys got questions, send me a request. I'm like I said, I'm no WNBA expert, but I'm just kind of learning, you know, and trying to share my knowledge based on my research with you guys as well. So let's go to Dream, and then Dream pass it to Stefan right after.
Yeah, man. Just to piggyback off what you were saying, that $6, it's the best $6 you can definitely spend to make you some good money. So definitely advocate that membership package. As far as this game, man, we got some amazing queens playing tonight.
We do.
I got a bunch of blunt money bets this game, my lord. Yeah, so Aaliyah Boston 20 and 10. Plus 800 on DraftKings, man.
Ooh, yeah, I gotta get some of that.
Yeah, man, I seen it. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, she could do that.
Mm-hmm.
She could do that. That should be about plus 500 if you ask me. Jewel Lloyd and Ezzy, I don't know her last name like that. I'm gonna go ahead and let my guy Stephen talk about Ezzy. He be on Ezzy. But I seen something with her to have 30 and Ezzy to have 20 plus 950. DraftKings, same spot. So my reasoning behind this, besides it being a high total, the more I watch the Storm, the more I realize, like, when those two out the game, they are not good at all. If they're gonna win, they need a strong game from both of them. So tonight, close game as far as the spread, and the total being as high as it is, I think that's worth the sprinkle as well. Oh, yeah, and Kelsey Mitchell to score 25 plus 700. I think this could be a game similar to what we saw with Enrique and Jewel last week, where one went for 40 and one went for 39. I mean, Jewel Lloyd is amazing. She's shooting, I think she's got like 12 and 15 attempts from three her last couple of games. She's really getting it up. I just saw Prize Picks has her threes at 3.5, must play, because everywhere else is 4.5. Her threes are 4.5 unless it moved. But when I saw it on FanDuel, because I was waiting for it to open, I'm like, all these attempts, I gotta see. And it opened at 4.5. My heart was hurt. I'm like, damn, they on it. I'm like, but when I see that 3.5, I'm like, yeah. So I think that's a must play on Prize Picks. I couldn't talk you off her free throws as well, but that's really what I'm on for the game. I don't have anything else but blunt money bets for that game. So I posted some on my timeline, some on my YouTube. So aside from that, that's all I got, man. What you got, Steph?
Hey, listen, I don't want to be the contrarian here because, you know, I get nothing from it. Aaliyah Boston's amazing. Like, she's baby Shaq. Like, when they throw her the ball, like, there's nothing anyone could do. She's agile. She's mobile. She can fish around the rim. She also has, like, a nice little mid-range jump shot. But what I found is betting on these bigs, the most aggravating thing to watch in all these games is a big like Aaliyah Boston who doesn't have a point guard who knows how the hell to throw an entry pass. Like, it's easily the most frustrating thing because the big will be wide open, have excellent positioning, you know, be squared off their defender and just can't get the ball. And like, I will never talk anyone off Aaliyah Boston. Like, she's made me a ton of money and she's amazing. But Erica Wheeler is terrible. Like, she cannot throw inbound. She can't throw entry passes. And also, she does this thing where, like, she thinks she's, like, Jordan Poole or whatever. Like, where she's like, okay, like, you know, Aaliyah's double. It's my time to shine now. So, I don't know. And Seattle also does this thing where they're a really small team. Like, their center is terrible. Mercedes Russell, she's terrible. And, like, they just try to play, like, 2-3 zone, and they clamp on the post. So, listen, Aaliyah can still go off. I don't want to talk anyone off it. It's just, I didn't play it because it's just too scary for me. But I do like Kelsey Mitchell's points a lot today. I do think that, like, the Storm leaves the three-point line wide open. I think she's going to chuck up, like, 7-8 threes. And with the Storm, like, with the pace and how it goes, especially in that gym, like, they got to move the pace because their players aren't good enough to play in the half court. So I think, like, in an open gym setting, like, whenever the Storm play, I like to target the two guard on the other team who likes to shoot threes, so I'm on her. My guy Dream knocked out the park with Jewel Lloyd. I think, Chris, was actually you who called her T-Mac like a week back. I've been stealing it ever since because, bro, she's just, like, cold with it. Like, she's hit a step back.
So cold.
Just, like, she'll put you in a triple threat, jab, 2 steps to the left. And she also has, like, a Mamba tattoo on her left bicep. So she's cold. She's cold.
Yeah, that's a great comparison. Wow, because she kind of thick, too.
Yeah, bro, her game make no sense. Like, she'll pull from 30 like it's nothing. Like, her game make no sense. Yeah, so rebounding wise, I like. I'm actually gonna pivot towards Nalisa Smith at 8.5. If the early games go good, I'm gonna throw money on that. I like the 8.5 number. This was a number where when she was rolling early in the season, it was at 10.5, and it even ducked to like 9.5 a little bit. And she's had like a little bit of a cold stretch lately, but I'm just riding the trend of like the power forward who guards Mac Bagor, because Mac Bagor tends to be like a roamer. Like, she's on the 3-point line, she's at the mid range. Like that kind of roaming power forward tends to like hit their line with the rebound. So yeah, I'm gonna grab Nalisa. And if you're on Prize Picks, I really like that Mac Bagor fantasy points at 38. The center who goes against the the Fever, because once again their point guard cannot throw an entry pass. Like, the center tends to get like 2 blocks, tends to get like a steal or 2 just based off of just standing there. And Mac Bagor, if you look at her line, like, she like gets a ton of blocks and steals, like she's mad agile. Like, I like her game a lot. So a lot of looks. I'm not playing all of them, but like that's like those are my notes.
Yeah, I feel like this is the best prop game, Stephen. How you feel about that?
Yeah, no, it definitely is true. It definitely is true.
Yeah, do we have her threes? No, we don't. Okay, she can step behind the arc too, Stephen. I feel like she got a really good advantage against against Aaliyah Boston tonight as well. But I don't see her her threes listed anywhere at all.
Yeah, my problem. One of these games she's gonna have like 20 points because she's so talented, but like she still struggles with foul trouble. And it's just, I just wonder, like, you know, will Aaliyah Boston, if she gets matched on her, get her in foul trouble? But you see, like, when she gets the ball, she gets moving, like, she'll score like 4 or 5 buckets easy. But I'm thinking, but then like her teammates will phase her out because their guards aren't that good. Like, the team's like tragic after like Lloyd. So one of these games she's gonna get 20. I don't think it's this one, but one of these games coming up, she's definitely getting 20 points.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about that because I was wondering, man, you know, when you look at the girls from Indy, and then you look at her, you know, she's thin and she's quick. So I kind of worry about foul trouble because Nalisa, she like a bruiser, and then if she gets switched on to Aaliyah.
Yeah.
But also, man, what you said about Aaliyah Boston getting the ball, bruh. That is so true. I be frustrated. Like, that point guard will swing the ball so quick before she try to get that entry pass, and I'm like, yo, she there, hit her. Like, one time last game, the girl she swung it to tried to pass it over. Like, pass the point guard. I'm like,
I had her ladder last game at 25. Who did they play? They played the Dream, yeah. Because I was like, oh, she gonna cook the Dream. Dream got no sides, whatever. The first quarter, bro, she had 1 shot, 2 points, and the shot, like, they threw the ball, she scored like 2 seconds. And I'm sitting there, I'm going to the gym, and because I'm watching her on my phone, I'm like, man, I'm really gonna lose because they're not gonna throw the ball. And then, like, they were down like 20 points, and their coach got the brilliant idea, like, yo, why don't we just run like 5 straight post-ups? And she scored on like all 5. I'm like, wow, it's crazy. The number 1 overall pick is Shaq. Like, I've seen it coming.
She's legit, bro. Aaliyah is nice. She's super nice.
She's great.
So sound like Stephen, you telling me to take old girl assist under is what it sounds like. Eric Willer assist under.
Yo, I can't tell you to do that because the storm is so tragic.
I know. I was not messing with you.
They might wake up today and be like, "Yo, I have this crazy idea for a game plan tonight. Why don't we just run 10 straight Aaliyah Boston post-ups? Like one of these games, they're gonna hatch that brilliant idea. They're like, just throw her the damn ball.
Figure it out. Yeah. No, I agree with that, man. I definitely agree with that. Yeah, I mean that's a lot of great insight on this game. I do think it's a game where we see a lot of points being scored. I know, Jewel Lloyd is just a walking bucket in general. She could go off. I see her 30 right now, listed at plus, I think it's plus 340, which to me, still has a little bit of value, even though she's been going over that number so much. I'm not playing it, but against the worst, one of the three worst defenses in the league, and I kind of gave you guys the numbers already. Besides the Mercury, this team is really, really poor defensively. That being the Fever, they just can score the ball with the best of them. So it could be a big Jewel Lloyd game. Jewel Lloyd has had big games against some of the better defensive teams. So now she gets, one of the worst defensive teams in the league. So it could be a big Jewel Lloyd game. She'll need help though. She'll definitely need help. And it could be any of the the players that we kind of named. They don't have a lot. I will say that they don't have a lot of ladies that can score the ball. But Ezzie Magnaboy is probably the other one, because like I think Stephen said, she is going to eventually have a 20-point game. Her points prop sitting at 14.5, but it's nothing that I touch, man. Nothing that I touched at all. I appreciate Stephen and Dream. A lot of gratitude, man, for them coming on and doing the show. Wasn't really planning on doing the show. I knew I was going to do one eventually, but wasn't really planning on doing one today. But I had a chance to cap the games late last night, and now I can't wait to watch them. They're actually about to start in about an hour and a half. But before we get out of here, let's go back to Stephen real quick and then kick it to Vaughn. I see my guy Vaughn is here, so I want to hear from him. And then I'm going to kick it back to Dream too, see if you got anything you want to share, anything you want to promote. But Stephen, go back to you first. Let's go to Vaughn.
Oh, my bad. My bad. I was muted. My bad.
Oh no, you good. What's up?
Yeah, no. One quick long shot I liked today I didn't mention earlier was if that Lynx Sun game breaks out with the talk about the usage, they had on DraftKings Collier for 25, Alyssa for 20, Bonner for 25. Like it has to be a shootout, but if it turns into a shootout, it's plus 3,000. So that's definitely that's something I threw like 0.1 unit on. Oh
wow, hold on. Say those names again. It was EDD.
Yeah, no, it was a Lynx Sun, so it was like Collier for 25.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she could do that asleep. Alyssa for 20 and Bonner for 25. And we were talking about where the points come to increase usage for everybody else. So if everybody else's usage increases on the Sun, and if Collier just does what she just always does, that's something that's plus 3,000, definitely gonna happen.
Got you. Okay, so Suns and Lynx specifically. My fault, I heard that wrong. So Bonner, we talked about Bonner having increased usage. Of course, with no Bree Jones tonight. I think her points prop sitting at 17.5. So her for 25 is what Stephen was saying. To go along with AT, and then on the opposite side, who was the last leg that you mentioned, Stephen?
It was Alyssa 20 and Bonner 25. It's like one of those. It's under player popular plays.
Got you. Okay. Okay, yeah. So if you want to sprinkle on something, you might want to sprinkle on that. Appreciate that long shot as well, Stephen. I don't have any long shots yet. I'm just, I'm trying to hit on the straights, and then as the bankroll increases, I'll eventually get there. WNBA has been a little up and down. I think I'm about 500 right now. I want to say I'm like 4-4 in the 8 plays that I've given out. So I haven't really given out a lot, but giving out the ones that I've loved for sure. Let's go Vaughn, and then Dream will take us home. What up, Vaughn?
Hey, what's good, bro? You hear me good?
Yeah, you good. A little background noise, but you okay?
All right, bet. So just a quick general question for you. What not an exact amount, but let's say what's a whole unit for you? Like, are you betting whole units, half units, quarter units? Like, how you breaking down your unit size in the WNBA as compared to what you was doing with the NBA. I done had some successful nights, but my unit size is something I'm having like consistency problems with. So just trying to get a general idea of what you're doing and how you're doing your unit size.
Yeah, I would say for like percentage wise, as it's always been the same for me. As when when the NBA season starts, I don't play the same amount, same unit size. As we get more data, as we kind of know the severity and the seriousness of the team of the games, it always increased for me. So in the playoffs, I'm betting 3 times what I was betting in the regular season. Just because the season's coming to an end, I feel a lot more confident. I know the adjustments that's going to be made. And with the WNBA, I'm kind of dabbling here, dabbling there. But everything that I'm playing right now, Vaughn, to keep it consistent. Because what I found in the last thing I'll say is that what I found in the NBA is that when I got to the end of the season, if I had like 4 plays that I like or 5 plays that I like, and I wanted to play a couple of them a little bit larger than I played the other ones because I liked them more, I would lose on the ones that I really like and win on the ones that I didn't like as much. And it just kind of happened that way. And with the WNBA, I kind of feel the same exact way. So everything that I gave out is what I would call one unit, which is 1% of my bankroll. And that is equivalent to what I would play in the what I would play in the NBA during the beginning of the season as well. Because like I said, the WNBA hasn't ramped up yet. I don't feel as confident in any of my plays, but they're still what I would call 1 unit plays. So and we could say 1/3 of what my normal unit would be. I hope that makes sense.
That make all the sense in the world. That's around about where I'm at. I've been playing about 1/3 of my normal unit size, so that's about a perfect equation. I'm with you. I'm kind of new to the WNBA shit, so I ain't trying to OD even with it being early in the season. So good looking, bro. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I appreciate the question. A lot of people probably want to know the same answer, so I'm glad you asked. Definitely glad you asked, Vaughn. Hope you're enjoying the summer as well, my guy. Dream, take us home, man. Anything you want to share? Anything you want to recap? Anything you want to promote? The floor is yours.
All right, my guy. Again, I appreciate the time that you're taking for the community. And yeah, the 2 straights I'm on. Courtney Williams, under 5.5 rebounds. We'll call it that. I got 6.5 or 5.5 rebounds. That should be available on DraftKings. On that, and on Sky and the Mystics under 155.5. If you want like my plays as soon as I post them, or you want like any of the plum money bets or anything, just follow me on here on Twitter, or you can search Blood Money Bets on YouTube, and that'll be it, man. I'm ready to get this cash. The games don't start an hour and a half, do they?
I thought I saw 5 p.m. Was I tripping?
I thought I did too, but when I went to the app, it switched to 8.
So okay, I thought I saw 8 yesterday, and then when I looked today on the live eye screen, I thought I saw 5. No, it is 8. You're right. I'm tripping. It's 8. So Connecticut play Minnesota at 8, and Washington play Chicago at 8. We should have just put one of them on at 6, bro, so you could watch both of them at the same time. And then the Indiana and Seattle game won't start until 10, which is what time they always play. So yeah, we still got some time, but it's good to get the show out the way. If people want to watch over late, they can. And I want to shout out Dream, shout out Stefan for doing the show with me. Like I said, if you guys got WNBA questions, I'm definitely no expert, but definitely learning as I go, and trying to make some money in the WNBA. 5 plays for me today. I feel like I can go 5-0. If not, 4-1, I'll take that as well. I like Washington and Chicago under 155.5. Chicago plus the 3.5. Connecticut and Minnesota under the 159. Minnesota plus the 5.5 at home. These lines have moved now. And then Indiana, Seattle over 133.5. If I had to give you guys a best bet for the show as of right now, I would play Indiana Seattle over the 164. I think that this is a high scoring game tonight. Indiana, I don't think that they play a lot of defense. I think Seattle still will try to run with a lot of pace, get up and down the floor. So I would give you guys that as the best bet because other lines have moved a little bit. But I would also still play Washington, Chicago under 155.5. The line had went down to 154.5, but since Natasha Cloud got rolled in, who's the starting point guard for the Mystics, the line is back up now. So it's back up to 155, which is what it originally opened at. Hopefully she plays. She might be a little impacted by the illness that they had her listed as questionable. So I would still play that as well. I wouldn't get involved too much on Connecticut and Minnesota now that it's down to 3. A lot of money coming in on Minnesota in this spot, and rightfully so, in my opinion. Connecticut last game of a 3-game road trip, and Minnesota playing some really good basketball. Winners of 3 of their last 4 as well. Back to Stephen real quick before we close out. What's up, Steph?
Hey, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. I definitely think if y'all aren't checked in with Chris, definitely check in. That subscription pays for itself, and just support all the hard work he's doing too, like year round. And also tap on my guy Drink. He does an amazing job. I would just say with this WNBA thing, like my work schedule allows me to just like watch a lot of these games. So start light, and then there's nothing wrong with just taking 1 or 2 plays you like tonight because the freaking game you should be looking forward to this Saturday when the Aces play the Fever. I mean, listen. Yesterday, the Aces had, like, they put up 3-point lines for the first time, and every Aces player covered their 3-point line at halftime versus the Mercury. Like, they're going to do the same damn thing on Saturday. Like, they might score 105 points. Like, that game's going to be crazy.
That I would just back all that, Stephen. I was actually out the crib yesterday when the game came on, so I was watching on my phone. And every time I looked down, I just saw the Aces score. Like, every single time. They just score like every single time they touch the ball, bro. It was scoring like an NBA team. That team is crazy with all the 3-point shooters that they have. They play inside out. They play really good, solid defense when they're at home. They don't play as much defense on the road, but they can fill it up, man. That team, Chelsea Plum, Chelsea Gray. They got some knockdown shooters on that team. You can't leave any of them open. So. Would definitely agree with that. Seven. I actually like the Liberty. I think not as like my favorite team or anything, but the Liberty are especially getting Sabrina back. I enjoy watching them play. I just like the ball movement. Brianna Stewart is probably my second favorite player to watch, just because she does so much with the basketball and the way she does everything with the basketball. She's so unselfish.
I was tripping, bro. That's KD. I was tripping.
That's KD, right, Dre? Yeah, she is so nice.
Yeah, she's insane. That's the only reason I haven't taken the Aces to go back to back, because Brianna Stewart could just have like a ridiculous run and win the chip by herself. Like, she's unbelievable.
I don't know. That might be LeBron though. I don't want to talk too much about it. She might be LeBron out there, man.
She probably more LeBron, Dream, I think. Yeah, because she catch the ball and she don't look to score. She look to get her teammates involved, and when it finds her, she plays the game like the way you should play the game. She might be Jokic. Yeah. She might be Jokic for real, Dream. she nice though. Let's just say that.
Yeah, fuck it. She Brianna, man.
Yeah. I like it. I like it a lot. But yeah, that's what we got, man. That's what we got for today. Best of luck to everybody that's telling any of the plays that I shared. Like I said, if you want the membership, shoot me a DM, man. It'll cost you $6, man. You spend $6 on some Starburst and a pack of Doritos or something, man. Best of luck to everybody tonight. Hopefully you guys cash. If you played anything, enjoyed it, the 3 games that we do have. And like I said, I'll try to do shows a little more often, but they definitely won't be every day. And I'm out.